There's a game you've played at least once in your life, and you almost certainly didn't realize you were playing it. It has three roles: the
I really
narcissist,
believe we can
the
make it work if
victim,
we just
the
try.
rescuer. And here's the part that surprises everyone. You're not stuck in one. You
I
can
really
be
believe
any
we
of
can make it
them,
work if we just try.
in different relationships, or even in the same one, and different weeks. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which role you're in right now, and more importantly, how to get out of it. The first time you meet Theodore, you'd swear you'd met the most interesting person alive. His charm is overwhelming.
This is the greatest success
You listen
of my
for an
life.
hour and leave fascinated. The second time, you
This
notice
is the
something.
greatest success
He only
of my
talked
life.
about himself. The third time you face the truth, he never once asked how you are. The narcissist doesn't love. He consumes. Not because he's evil, but because beneath all the grandiosity, there's an old wound, a shame he can't touch, and a quiet terror that without others' admiration, he simply doesn't exist. Clinically, the narcissistic self is described as armor, built around a fragile core. Not strong, as it looks, profoundly vulnerable. So Theodore doesn't control you because you are weak. He controls you because without control, he collapses. And that's the tragedy. The loneliest person in the room is always the one who seems to own it.
This is
Hold
the
that
greatest
image,
success of my life.
because the person Theodore needs in order not to collapse has a name too. And she's next. Helen says yes to everything, cancels her own plans to be available, excuses behavior she shouldn't.
Yes,
And at night
I
she
will
wonders why
cancel
everyone
it.
takes her for granted. Careful, Helen isn't weak. Helen learned something very early,
Yes, I
probably
will
in
cancel
childhood,
it.
that love is earned through sacrifice. That if you're good enough, useful enough, available enough, you'll finally be
Yes, I
seen
will
and
cancel it.
loved. Psychologist Jeffrey Young called this the self-sacrifice schema. One of the most resistant inner patterns there is, precisely because, from the outside, it looks like a virtue. Such a good person. So understanding. Always there. But inside Helen, an anger is growing that she won't let herself feel. And the resentment piled up year after year, for everything given and never returned is the time bomb of her relationship. Here's the hard part. The victim isn't innocent in the toxic dynamic. She's its co-author, not out of malice, out of fear. And yet, there's one more character. The one who looks like the best of all three. And he's the hardest to expose. Because he hides
Yes, I will
behind a
cancel
good
it.
deed. Michael rescued 3 women from bad relationships, paid one's debts, carried another's crises, gave up his own dreams to support the third's. And every time, the moment the woman recovered, she left. Michael kept asking why he attracted women who needed saving. His therapist flipped the question. Why do you need to save? A long silence. Then, when I save someone, I feel needed. I feel important. I feel loved. The rescuer doesn't save out of pure generosity. He saves because his own worth is tied to how useful he is. A century ago, Alfred Adler wrote that the need to matter, to feel superior, can take seemingly altruistic forms. The rescuer is the narcissist with a humble face. He doesn't consume admiration, he consumes gratitude. And when the rescued person no longer needs him, the rescuer feels abandoned. Not because he loved, because he was no longer necessary. Now you have all 3 pieces. And only when you put them together do you see why it's so hard to escape. These 3 don't exist separately. They seek each other. They find each other. They fit perfectly. The narcissist needs the victim to confirm his greatness. The victim needs the narcissist to confirm she deserves no better. The rescuer needs both, because without them, he has no purpose. And the most frightening part? All three believe they're playing a different role. The narcissist believes he loves. The victim believes she suffers. The rescuer believes he helps. None of them sees they're playing a game they learned before they could read. They say the hardest prisoner to free is the one who doesn't know he's imprisoned. This triangle is exactly that. Invisible, comfortable, impossible to leave until you recognize it. I have bad news and good news. The bad news: you can't change anyone else in the triangle. You don't heal the narcissist by naming it. You don't free the victim by convincing her. You don't stop the rescuer from rescuing. The good news: you can change your own role. And the moment one player leaves the game can't continue in the same form. How? 3 steps. 1. Recognition. I am the victim. I am the rescuer. I have narcissistic elements. Nothing moves without this. 2. Origin. Where did I learn this role?
You have
And
to
who
decide
showed it
who
to
you
me
really
first?
are.
3. Therapy. Not as a last resort when everything's burned down, but as the first act of responsibility toward yourself. Robert Leahy describes the restructuring of these inner patterns as slow but real. Deep beliefs about yourself and others genuinely can change. Not overnight, but with patience and the right help, yes. Theodore came to therapy only when his third wife filed for divorce. Not because he'd recognized his narcissism, but because he saw the pattern repeating and that he was the only common element. I don't understand, he said. I gave them everything they needed. His therapist asked, and what did they believe they needed? Silence. Helen came when she watched her 17-year-old daughter reproduce her exact pattern. I saw myself in her, she said, and I couldn't sit with that image. Michael came after one sentence. The woman he'd been rescuing told him, Michael, I don't need a rescuer. I need a partner. It was the first time anyone had said that to him, and the first time he understood the difference. If you recognized yourself in Theodore, Helen, or Michael, you are not your character. You are the person who can change it. Tell me in the comments, which of the 3 did you recognize? If this clarified something for you, pass it on. It might reach exactly the person who needs it today. Subscribe. Every week we talk about things that genuinely matter. See you at Season 5, Episode 3.